Hey, welcome to Car Guy Confessions, brought to you by ARP. I'm Jeff Smith. This is my car buddy Cam Benty and car builder Steve Strope, and we're going to tell you some stories. All right. We ready?
We are ready.
Welcome to another episode of Car Guy Confessions with Jeff Smith, brought to you by ARP-Bulls.com. I have to be just blind leading the blind. Okay. Just a couple of times. Sometimes I even get it right, you know.
ARP-Bolts.com.
Yes. And the great folks at the Grand National Roadster Show, 75th anniversary.
75th anniversary.
We got our own on-site deal here, so we're no longer in an area of back room somewhere.
In a broom closet.
Yeah. So this is great. This is
having
good
our
stuff.
hidden shame. So like a couple of little interviews earlier, we were talking about how this place is just crawling with all the top builders, and I was out trolling, and I landed this catfish, bottom feeder. Everybody, this is Will Posey. He has an amazing shop called Big Oak Garage. And where are you based out of, young man?
Oaks Bluff, Alabama.
Oaks Bluff, Alabama.
Yep.
All right.
And so this cat has been building, the contenders, stuff that shows up and punishes other people for daring to show up. Well, no, I watched it come up, and we've had phone calls earlier on, should I bring my car? Yep. And he has done, you've got tons of accolades, like I told you, and has done some great stuff, at places like you'd expect, like Goodguys, but also at SEMA, also here at the Grand National Roadster Show. So he is not a one-trick pony. He has shown up with multiple cars that have taken top awards, gotten lots and lots of attention. So backing up, when did this start? 15, 5, 40, but you're not even 40.
Well, I grew up reading articles this guy wrote.
This is same thing.
In the back seat of a 56 Chevrolet traveling to Southeast with my father and my family. So, just grew up in that home where cars were a big part of your life.
Excellent.
And
so for your dad too?
Yeah, my dad, he's still piddles with
and
stuff.
That's how I met you. When I first was introduced to you, really, it was you and your father.
That was me and Dad, yeah.
Yeah, just hanging out.
Yep, we had the Dart.
Yep.
The first time I come to the Grand National Roadster Show was because you pushed me to come here.
Yeah, he had a green Dart that made grade 8.
Really?
So at Riddler, which is an evil word to say here.
Okay.
But
still.
He came out of nowhere with a car that made grade 8.
Wow.
And I pushed him and said,
so you should define grade 8.
Okay, so at the unmentionable evil show,
since we're on the ground,
there is an award called the Riddler, which is also a highly regarded award. But to get to the Riddler, there's 8 finalists, and they are called the grade 8, which is a really complimentary thing because all of the cars usually are quite impressive with a lot of money, a lot of energy, a lot of time into them. So it instantly recognizes these 8 as, hey, these are the top dudes in the show. We're going to have to pick one of them, but these guys deserve
So essentially
your
they're all
attention.
winners, right?
Right.
This is like a 68
Dart?
Dart?
Into the grade
65.
65,
Yep.
okay.
If you've made it into the grade 8, you obviously
With
have
a
an
green
impressive
65 Dart.
Okay.
I mean,
which is that's
It's like, really?
not even a paddle to go upstream with. Just cupping your hands.
So for people who may not appreciate it, the whole concept is execution, right?
Right, and modifications help too.
Yeah,
sure.
So this Dart, we wedge section the roof, shorten the body 2 inches behind the door, stretch the wheelbase 2 inches. So move the front wheel wells forward 4 inches in the front fender.
And we're going to be putting pictures up on screen of the car.
So what happens is it reproportions the car completely.
It looked like the way Dodge
should have done it,
right?
Right?
It was killer. Yeah, it was killer.
We like to say they fabricated the ugly out.
Yeah.
Well, there is that.
Yeah, that was a saying. We cut the ugly out of it. And
so
that's great.
He made grade 8, which is just phenomenal for coming up out of the gate. And I said, you know, I know it's a long way out here. Let me talk with John Buck, the owner of Grand National, and let me see if I can put you at one of the entrances, because the car's really stellar, and it won't hurt you getting the attention if you're willing to come all the way out.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can get you a spot. And so I talked with John and Kevin Doyle, and the green lights, no pun intended, were given, and he came out and plopped it there at the end of building 4, right, which is the main building. Because I told him, I go, guys, you'll see photos and all, but it made grade 8. It's gonna make the show look good if it's there at the entry. It's an impact car. It's an argumentative car. It's a bright color car.
So were there people that loved it, and then there were people that hated it?
Oh yeah, I had a guy tell me that it was worth more the way it was original.
That's nice.
You know, and
Gotta love it.
I'm like,
okay.
I'm like, dude, just the engine is worth more than an original 65 car. And it was actually a GT V8 4-speed bucket seat car too.
Okay,
but
so that was maybe what offended him, was the fact that you cut up one of those
It's
cars?
nice.
it really
now.
got him when I told him that's what it was.
Yeah. And so what was in it for a motor?
It was a 392, the third gen.
Gen 3.
Gen 3 Hemi.
Yeah,
Okay.
supercharged.
Yep. Nice.
Yeah, it was.
And what trans?
It was a TR6060, so a 6-speed.
Okay, 6-speed.
Yeah, I had a torque arm with reverse Watts link, rear
Excellent.
suspension.
Yeah.
345s in the back. It was a pretty neat car.
Yeah, it was.
Nice.
Lots of work, lots of engineering.
Yep.
And it landed
Was this
in,
like a shop car, or was this for a customer?
It was for a customer.
It was for a customer?
A guy named
Okay.
Willie Mays.
Okay.
We lost Willie a couple of years ago, unfortunately. But,
Okay.
I owe a lot to that man.
Because he lets you do, right? He lets you have your vision.
Like George
and
Poteet did for me.
Exactly,
100%.
exactly.
And he kept saying, he said, if I don't do it now, I'll regret it. That was kind of Willie's saying for the whole thing.
And I think sometimes that gets overlooked, because I've heard stories of, customers that are impossible to work with and everything else, and it makes the build so much more difficult. So it's kind of a blessing when you got somebody like that that's really good.
Right.
That lets you do.
As a builder like Steve and I, you don't get rich building hot rods, but you need that rich guy. I didn't think it was a secret anymore, Steve.
Is this coming as news to you?
Thought my shrimp boat was coming in.
So you need a guy like that to allow you and trust you with your vision to take his car to a level that they hadn't even dreamed of.
Sure. Oh yeah.
And when you get that right customer in your shop, it can really make a difference in the outcome of your entire career.
Yeah.
So
that's great.
And we've been lucky to have several of those type of guys.
And then from that car, that brought in other customers to say, hey, could you do something for me?
It really did. The red Cadillac that we did for Don and Brenda Waters, I met them because of the Dart.
Okay. And what was that? What year?
It was a 66 Cadillac.
Okay.
It was here in our booth 3-4 years ago.
Okay.
And again, we'll have you get us photos, and we'll be putting the cars up
up so people can see them.
To see the stuff.
Yeah. Hey, we'd like to thank our sponsor, ARP-bolts.com. We got a fantastic little backdrop here. They make an outstanding series of bolts, almost anything you would need for engines, chassis, things like that. In fact, we were at lunch today, and a guy asked you about the bolt on the back of your shirt, and and I said, well, it's really about a head bolt. They neck the stem down of the bolt on a short, small block Chevy head bolt, so the clamp load is even across 3 different head bolt lengths on a small block Chevy. And, so that's the kind of technology that you get out of ARP. And we've all got stories on all that stuff.
For a translation of what he said, call ARPbolts.com.
But the message is that you can't get any better than that.
No, you cannot.
There you go. We'd like to thank our friends at InTheGarageMedia.com. They have 3 fantastic magazines. They've got Classic Truck Performance, they have Modern Rotting, and my favorite, All Chevy Performance with Nick, my buddy Nick, is the editor.
Biased.
So, yes, of course. But it's a fantastic book. They're doing print media, which is, of course, our favorite. So
in color and everything.
In color and everything, and you can get your car on the cover of one of those books, which is a fun deal.
Great tech.
Great tech.
By
Not always written by me,
famous
but
people.
Yeah,
Famous people
Not
have written all the
always
tech.
written by me.
That's right.
Just
So
pick it
check
up and
them
read
out
it.
at InTheGarageMedia.com, and they're our friends, and they will thank you.
he got here, came out, made the leap. I made the phone call. John approved, and he went on from there to keep raising it a notch every time he's building a car. Mm-hmm. And did a really beautiful 32 sedan, the gold one. And that evolved into a car called Dirty Martini, which was a large undertaking of extreme modifications and execution.
Okay.
And it was a car that came in here for the Slonaker, also took the Chip Foose award.
Wow.
And then also went on to many Good Guy shows and plowed everybody else there. So,
when was this?
3 years ago.
Yeah,
3 years ago?
three-
Okay.
Yeah,
3 years ago. Yeah.
So,
And what car was it?
It was a 61 Impala. We called Dirty Martini.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a year Troy Ladd won.
with the 32,
Yep.
with the 3 window.
Yep.
Okay. Now, what did you do to this car?
Oh, God. What? No,
What-
no.
what-
What,
that's-
what didn't he do
What
to that
didn't
car?
you do, right?
Change the roof, section the whole thing, right?
So Bubble Tops, I know, is an iconic roof line
Sure.
that you're not supposed to mess with.
Right,
but
right.
I cannot stand the way the windshield in the back glass is above the side glass. Drives
Okay.
me bananas.
Okay.
So anyway, I knew we were going to be building this car for Dan Duffy, and the whole deal, he wanted it wedge cut. So I didn't
Which
like
means
You go through the
This-
center of the body and
Yeah,
cut
you
it on
take-
a
pinch
wedge.
it, pinch the nose.
that. No. You take like 2 inches out of the front and nothing in the back. So bam.
Oh, okay.
Because when the rockers are level,
They
just
still look like
The car
they're
like
going
it's going
uphill.
uphill.
because of the-
Like it's going uphill.
sagging ass.
Yeah,
so the
yeah,
trim
yeah.
gives you an optical illusion.
It does.
Okay.
It really does.
So you have to put a wedge into it just to get it to look like it should look.
the way we wanted it to look.
Right,
You know.
right.
So I talked Dan into doing the roof. So we cut the roof off. We wedge cut the roof 3/4 of an inch. So chopped it 3/4 in the front, nothing in the rear, and then we made a roof skin that came down to the top of the side glass.
Okay.
And then so we wound up cutting 4.5 inches off the windshield and the back glass. And then we had to remake all that structure.
Oh yeah.
And not only did we did that, we did flush fit trim and flush fit glass
Wow.
with no fasteners seen. That was
Wow.
probably one of the hardest things we did on that whole car.
Really?
Yep. And then we knew we wanted a Lamar Walden all aluminum 509
Okay.
and
A W motor.
a W motor, correct.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, Lamar, we lost Lamar about 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So his son, Rob, has kept the business rolling. So
Okay.
we hollered at Rob. I got the measurements on a 509, and I knew real quick we wasn't going to be able to wedge section this car.
Okay.
We wasn't going to be able to take anything out of the front. Not
Okay.
the engine was going to be sticking up.
Right,
And
right.
I'm a flat hood guy. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
like crazy hood scoops and all
Right.
this other stuff.
Right.
And the style of this car, it had to be a flat hood. We couldn't. I don't
No.
know if there's anything we
wouldn't
could have done.
No, you
No.
made
So-
the,
You that was the right
Um,
thing to do. Yeah.
So I was like, what if we reverse wedge section it? And so we started playing around with it. So we added 2.5 inches of height to the back of the car and nothing at the very front.
Wow.
And so it just looks
So
like a
it's like a-
missile.
it's like
so
an arrow.
still making
Yeah.
it go downhill and tricking your eye.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And changing the trim's landing line so the trim isn't doing that uphill deal anymore.
Right. Right. Wow.
So if you can't take the nose down on the body, take the tail up to give
Right.
a wedge
Right.
appearance
To give the-
already.
yeah.
And that magnifies it to your eye because you've already tilted the
Tilted
roof.
the roof.
Right.
So now your eye's seeing a wedge profile by default.
And then when you're doing all of that, you got to play with the height of your rear fender well because you don't want it to look too far of a distance between that body line and your fender well.
Right,
lip,
right.
Or the
and-
top of the quarter panel
Right.
to the top of the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
If you just move that up, now that looks uncomfortable. So
Right.
this has got to come up.
Yeah.
And then
So you
did that
gotta-
open it too much, and
You
there's
got to add
lots of
You
decisions.
got to add a little here, a little here, a little here, a little here. You can't just put it in one spot.
So did this vision all come at once, or was this
Pretty much.
okay? All right,
Pretty
'Cause-
much.
And that it almost has to be that way, correct?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
You can't like say,
fortunate-
well, now that we've done this, we got to do this.
Right.
You knew what you had to do.
Yeah.
So was that from a drawing that you guys
No,
did?
no, my
No,
head.
it's just
Yeah.
eyeball it and go.
So
yeah, okay.
fortunately for guys like Steve and I, we can build a car instantly in our head.
Okay.
I mean, we know the colors.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Bullshit.
I have
Bullshit.
I need at least a bowl of Cocoa Puffs and a raspberry Pop-Tart to get anything.
Well,
to get anything.
Inspiration. Inspiration. Cocoa Puffs are your
that's
inspiration.
just,
Right here. I've obviously built a lot of cars. That's
But
not
I know
funny.
what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
it's just-
You can
get
edit
the
that
vision
out,
in your
right?
head,
right.
and then it's just a matter of making it happen
Right.
in 3D.
I can't draw at all.
Okay.
So I use Tavis Highlander on
Yay.
the because of you.
Yeah.
Yep. And I brought Tavis into this little planet of our car world. He was a kid at home who was drawing, and I had George Poteet's NASCAR Charger on tour. We were up at I think it was the Seattle show.
Yeah.
And his dad said, my son would like to meet you. And Tavis is literally, he won't cop to it, but he's like hiding behind a pole. And I said, you know what? I'll be done doing poster showing or whatever. Let's have lunch. So I sat down, and Tavis showed me, let me sidebar that, if you may. I know
No,
Will's
no,
here,
no,
but
no.
I'm going to bore you with this. So Tavis.
How old is he, by the way?
Oh, wow. This is.
15?
Maybe
Yeah.
mid to late 30s.
No,
Or
yeah, not when I
you
met him.
When
He
you
was
met
a
him.
teenager.
That's how he
Teenager, okay.
Oh, yeah.
is now.
This is way back when I did Poteet's car. So that was before. That's almost 15 years ago.
So
if not
you
more.
met him and instantly
So anyway, I
recognized
looked
his
at his
talent.
stuff and I said, well, no, I said, you know what, this is really good, but, and the really hard stuff, Steve Stanford would tell you, drawing rims at the right angle and the oval looks right and glass and proportionate, it's
Yeah.
difficult.
Yeah, it is.
Right? So I said, well, work on
It's
this and this,
art.
but you're on the right track.
It's art.
Right? It is, well, it is art. It's a drawing. So fast forward a few years, Jerry Pitt
Yeah.
is doing a giveaway Pro Street 57 Chevy.
Right.
Has me do it. And Tavis, we have the car. We're tearing it apart. We're going to start filming. We're laying down the basics, right? Just who, what, where. And Tavis sends me some updated artwork out of the blue, like, hey, I've been working and practicing.
Yeah.
And I looked at it, and it's definitely better. And I called him up. I said, hey, I want you to do exactly what I tell you. I want you to draw me a side profile of a 57 Chevy, super dark purple, almost black, flames like this, these wheels, do it for free. Even though he didn't have a business anyway, I don't think. And I said, I'm going to give it to Jerry Pitt at Hot Rod Magazine because we need concept artwork.
Right.
And it's going to be
Yeah.
used in every article updating
Yeah.
the 57.
And all of a sudden, a lot of people are going to see your
Tavis
skill.
sent the artwork. Well, no. He went in Jerry's speed dial.
Okay.
Jerry had him do some stuff for Mopar, had him do some other
you
stuff.
go. There you go.
And he went on to keep doing. And last year, 2 years ago, he designed the car that won Amber.
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, he's got a
Wow.
booth in Build 6. this
Yeah,
year,
he's
Okay.
well, that was another thing. He called me and said, should I have a booth? And I go, be right here in Building 6, man. Be here with Sloniker. So Tavis has gone from a kid I saw kind of shy, hiding behind a pole,
Sure.
to the guy designing the cars that win Amber.
Win Amber.
Wow. What a super talented. He's incredibly talented.
Wow.
He's humble. He's polite. We definitely got to get him on the
Yeah.
program.
Did you do an illustration for your 61?
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
he did everything.
he did
Yeah.
the concept
Okay.
artwork.
Yeah,
Okay.
and everything. I mean, we drew everything. The interior, the wheels, the
Wow.
engine, everything. I mean, just little details
Uh-huh.
of the center of the steering wheel. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Sure.
Just
He understands it, gets it, and can take your ideas vocally,
right.
verbally,
and
put
make
it
turn
on
in-
screen
put it
and
on
go,
an image.
okay, kids, this is what we need it to look like when we're done.
Yep.
So it really, it's a roadmap to building the car. It's also guideposts.
Sure.
You know, it's also a retaining wall.
Yep.
It
Yes.
needs to look like this. Pull it back over here. See the drawing? It
More
needs-
people need to understand the retaining wall.
That's why I called it a retaining wall.
People
And
need
not-
to
and not a
understand
firewall,
what
you
you
mean?
No, just
No?
when your decision-making process and how
Oh,
much
okay. Where you
enough
don't,
is
it
enough
doesn't
of
spin
a-
off out of into
Correct.
space. Okay, yeah,
Correct.
yeah, because that can happen,
Some
can't it?
cars
Yeah.
just have too much. It's like, bro, stop.
Yeah.
Just, there's an empty spot there. It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's kind of like in artwork.
Needs another bow tie.
white space. White space
Put
is
a
okay.
crybaby doll on the bumper.
Timeout. Timeout, kid. That's what that crap was. I would like to light those on fire. Actually, I'd like to put a
Hey, let's
voice.
play a game.
I'd like to put a
Let's play a
screaming
game.
voice chip in it and then light it on
Let's
fire.
play a game. Tomorrow afternoon, we meet in your booth,
Yeah.
and the person who has the most dolls wins.
dolls.
You got to get them from the show.
What
Crybaby,
dolls?
Crybaby dolls.
Where are the crybaby dolls?
On the bumper.
They're out
We
here.
got to steal them.
Oh my God!
Yeah. And the
What are you
winner-
doing?
the-
Nothing. I'm winning.
The loser has to buy the winner dinner.
You're taking my doll. I'm winning a bet.
I'll bring it back.
I'll bring it back. I'm winning a bet. It's for a bigger cause.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
It's for a bigger
It's,
cause
slight-
than you,
it's
ma'am.
slightly larcenous, but I like
I'm just
it.
going to tell them.
Larson.
I'm just going to tell them you'll give them free T-shirts.
That'll work. What are you doing? Committing a felony?
Well, more of a misdemeanor, I think.
What is
They're not
commit-
worth that much.
What is committing a misdemeanor?
Some of them might have gold chains on them. You got to be careful.
Oh, well, yeah, you leave the chain behind. Just
Wearing a Rolex.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Funny.
we've got some background,
Okay.
and we've got up to building some pretty high-profile stuff, right? So, what is in the machine at the moment? Where are we going? What are we doing? Are we doing any particular style? I know I have made a small alteration, not really on purpose as a marketing tool, just to, you know what, I want to do this. I'm really comfortable with building this. I kind of really like this. And so I'm finding people that want that also. I'm still open. I got a car that hopefully is going to get done. That's a crazy car. So I still want that too. So what's in the hopper? And if you could, or if you do, are you pushing for I'd really like to kind of go to this kind of a design themed car, ideas, super over the top, way laid back. Where's your mindset at design wise, and what are you working on?
So right now, if you walked in the shop, you would be like, "There's something wrong with this guy." Like
I already thought that before I walked into the shop.
we have a project going that's going to be completely all carbon fiber. Everything.
The whole body?
The whole body, everything.
Wow.
The frame won't be, but the whole
Yeah.
body will be. There'll probably be some stuff coming out about that in the next couple of months. We got to kind of
Sure.
keep that on the DL for right
Yeah,
now.
understood.
We have a 4-wheel drive, 4-door cab over
Okay.
going. That's going to be super cool. Super cool. Got a couple of traditional Model A's going.
See a good variety.
Yeah.
My problems, I love everything.
Right.
You
And
know what I mean?
variety makes
And
it fun to work on.
I
Yeah.
personally don't like building the same car over and over and over.
Right.
And not just the 32 Ford. I mean, there's guys that have a style and they stick to it, and that's what works for them, and that's awesome. I like everything.
Yeah.
I like 4-wheel drive trucks. I like German cars. I like,
Right.
the traditional 32 Fords.
Right.
And I like race cars. I like racing. I like autocross. I like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I have a lot of influence that comes from everywhere, and I don't. I guess I like everything with a lot of power.
Okay.
Number one, we're going to have a lot of power,
Okay.
and it's got to sound good, and the stance has got to be right.
Right.
If
Yep. Yep.
it's got to have those two things.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there you go.
My
and-
shirt preaches.
And
You can get stance
as
wear.
long as it's got the right stance and the right engine,
Yeah.
I can get behind it.
Cool.
So
Yeah. And these
What
are all
would you
these are all
like to
customers'
build?
cars.
for myself,
Yeah.
Anybody, you, a customer, you have a design laid out there, like, woo, I do.
I've got a 36 Ford 3-window that's been in my head for a long time. That I'd like to do.
Color?
Probably green. Everything I do is green. Probably green. And then there's a 40 Chevy 2-door sedan that I know it's odd, but my dad has
Trying to pull the file.
My dad loves 40 Chevy sedans.
Okay.
And there's a traditional custom 40 Chevy sedan in my head one day that hopefully I can throw together for my dad. So I guess deep down I'm really more of a traditional hot rod guy.
Would that be like Chevy inline 6 powered?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. Probably something like that. It would all be vintage stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you've done a little filming.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Since I've done a little filming, excluding any deep detail, did you enjoy filming?
For the most part, yeah. It was.
Oh, by the way, what was the show?
Ride of Your Life.
Ride of Your Life.
It was on Motortrend.
Okay.
Yeah. For the most part, it was a lot of fun. We fortunately for me, I didn't have to shut my shop down or anything like that. We didn't film it in my shop. We filmed on the weekends.
Okay.
So I got to leave my shop and we filmed everything in Atlanta.
Okay.
And drive over to Atlanta. I'm only an hour and a half. from
Hour and a half away.
Okay.
So I would leave over Thursday when I got off work, I'd go over there and we'd film all weekend and come back and do it again at Big Oak on Monday.
Wow.
But yeah, it was for the most part.
And how long did that go on?
It was close to 2 years.
Wow.
It was kind of a COVID. It's like during the middle of COVID, so it's kind of hit or miss some here and there.
Now, is
So,
that stuff that's still like on
they
reruns?
just had a marathon of it a few weeks ago.
Okay. All right.
But I only did one season. I didn't.
Okay.
I elected not to do another season.
It sounded like, I mean, there's no downtime for you.
No,
right?
no,
Because there
I was
wasn't.
busy.
You're 7 days a week.
I was.
That was
busy
7 days a
guy.
week for a whole year.
It was off and on. So
Okay.
We would go hard for a couple of months, and then we'd take a couple of months off, and then go hard for a couple of months.
Okay. People, I don't think. Well, you understand it. I don't.
Oh, I understand.
You
it
understand
clearly.
it. Now you have an introduction to it, just how difficult video is.
It is
because
difficult.
it's enormously time consuming.
And
this is not video, by the way.
Oh, no.
This is just a bunch of guys sitting at the table talking.
This isn't film.
Yeah.
It's time consuming when it don't need to be.
Yes.
We're trying to build a car in a month. Mm-hmm. And really they didn't want us to do it in a month. They wanted us to do it in like 2.5 to 3 weeks. And which we could have if we would have gotten better cars. We were just getting really crappy cars.
Yeah. How many guys building it?
There's only like 6 of us.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, anything more than that, though, when you start getting in each other's way, right?
Right, and there were times where, Kicker would send John down and he would build all of our audio systems.
John.
So we didn't have to do all of that.
Right.
So there were times where we had some help. And we did a Grand National, and the guy that sold us the engine came down and helped us, get the engine in and get it tuned and all that stuff. So we had some outside help, but really it was like 5 core guys. And
wow.
I didn't get to be really hands-on a lot because we were filming all the other stuff, so. But yeah, it was. There were times that I'll never forget. That happened those 2 years. It was it was the good overrode the bad.
Notice I'm smirking.
So.
Well, before we wrap, next car out of the chute that the public will see, debut is
Pigeon Forge Rod Run. Would be end of April in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee.
Okay.
It's a Model A.
in 25, coming up here in a few months.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. Yeah, we're wiring and plumbing. So
Sedan, coupe, roadster.
coupe, chopped 4.5 inches, flat head, Kong heads, E&J headlights, all the good stuff.
Color?
Elk Point green. It's original model.
Oh, it's
color.
green.
Ah.
Oh, that's a fascinating color choice. Hard to believe.
I see a trend of moving here. Yeah.
There's a pattern here.
And I'm colorblind. I mean,
Really?
That explains.
Yeah.
That explains the green. I mean,
this one's even got green interior.
oh, good.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
but
nothing like
it's
driving
cool
it
car.
home.
Green with black firewall, black frame, stuff like that, black wheels. It's going to be a neat car.
So,
So-
manual trans then?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So down at Pigeon Forge, everybody will be able to see it.
Yep. And so Scotty D TV. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Scotty D. He does what he calls the Dirty Dozen. He invites 12 cars that's been on his channel or going to debut, and then he'll shoot them and put them on his channel.
Okay.
And
Sure.
so Scotty's a good friend of mine. He lives right down the road. So this will be, I think, 11th of him doing the Dirty Dozen.
Okay.
Big Oak's the only shop that's had a car in every single one of them.
Wow.
So,
wow.
and we've debuted 3 or 4 cars with
Yeah,
him. So,
yeah.
it's if we're not building a Sloniker type car, a lot of times we'll debut it with Scotty there. So yeah, it'll be Pigeon Forge Rod Run, and the unveil will be live on Scotty D TV.
Okay.
Anything right up behind that, or the next car's in massive fab, and it'll be a couple of years.
We'll have a Sloniker car next year.
Wow.
Will you now?
Yeah.
And pray tell, what would that be?
Model A.
Model A.
Another Model A.
Watch this. Is it green?
It might be.
Jesus. Make it stop.
It might be green.
Mommy, make it stop. Fine. We'll look at
another
your green
flathead
Model
car?
A.
No, this is
By the way, the other one was gold.
the sedan.
The sedan was
Yes,
gold.
the
It wasn't
sedan was
green.
gold.
See, just go there.
Cadillac was red.
The Cadillac was red. You're capable.
The Nomad was black and brown.
See, look, he's building a case. Ay. So, for all of you, and that's all of you.
Hey, he wants to know about the engine in the Model
Yeah.
A.
Oh, which Model A?
The one we're bringing here.
For Sloniker.
Oh, the green one.
No. The one that might be green.
It might be.
Oh, now we're backpedaling. Wow. Okay. What's the
super-
motor in the might be green Model A?
I just want to say something off the wall. But
Go ahead.
No, it'll be.
Please do.
Supercharged early Hemi.
Okay.
Yep.
Ooh,
Like 392
Yeah.
Red Ram.
Like 331.
331.
Oh,
You can
early,
still
early.
find them. They
Sure,
gotta be.
they use them as boat anchors.
Yep.
And
Not even for boat anchors anymore.
No.
I had to be tough to find, didn't it?
This car had been a hot rod a long time.
Okay,
And
so it already had the.
Correct.
Oh,
It
okay.
had
It already had
already
the motor
had-
in it,
Super
so you didn't
cool.
have to go look
Yep.
for one.
Oh,
And then
so
what kind of supercharger?
It's the 471.
Okay,
Traeger
okay.
471. Yep.
super
Okay.
cool.
Yep. Tony
Yeah.
Tony Lombardi's putting the engine together for us.
Okay.
So you know it'll be good.
So I
Yeah,
need all of
yeah.
you to do some homework, okay? Now, where are they going to go to find information? What's the website? Where's the
BigOakGarage.com.
right?
We're more active on Instagram. It's Big Oak Garage. Facebook, Big Oak Garage. And, if you can't find us there, then... we
Back
have-
of milk cartons, maybe.
That-
Yeah. Okay.
You'll find me in his library.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. There you go.
Touche, sir. Well, again,
All right.
Will from Big Oak Garage, Will Posey, right? From Big
That's
Oak
it.
Garage. And thank you for taking the
No,
time.
thank
I
you,
literally
guys.
just called him and said, get over here and film. So he did a good job completely
Yeah.
BSing his way through all of this. and to which we are appreciative. Thank you.
Yes.
No, I appreciate
Thank you
you
so
guys.
much for coming in.
Yep.
Yeah,
And,
this has been a lot of
yeah,
fun.
That's you. That's an inside joke. But if you ever see Will or me at a show, please walk up and go, and then we're going to punch you. Anyway, so you
right.
know to take us out.
All right. So thank you again for what we want to thank our friends at Grand National Roaster Show and ARP-bolts.com for sponsoring us. I mean, it's always appreciated.
Yeah,
and We're at the Roadster Show. We're having a good time. Thank you for coming. And if you like what you see, just keep watching, and we'll keep telling you new stories.